Today's episode is brought to you by Bravenly Hydrate, because regular water is just not going to cut it. And the main brand sports drinks got stuff you don't need to consume. So I recommend hitting the link in the bio and checking out Bravenly Hydrate. Lemon lime is my favorite flavor, but I recommend checking out more of Bravenly products. It's really great stuff for your health and well-being. So hit the link in the bio to find out more about Bravenly products. Welcome to Minor Forge. Excited to be here with Bo Morgan. What's up, Bo?
What's up? What's going on?
We're excited to come to y'all on Wednesdays. Check us out on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, follow.
Get us in your algorithm.
Yes.
It's all about the algorithm.
All about that algorithm, baby.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, so you can see more of this beautiful mug.
In our quarters.
All right, Bo, you want to kick us off here?
Yeah, let's kick it off. All right. Everybody, welcome back to the Men Are Forged podcast with Cartwright Morse. I'm Bo Morgan. This is a really, really fun project that we've started, about a month ago? And we are here to basically explore what every Christian man in their 20s and 30s wrestle with as Christians, because I think a big common theme probably for people that aren't Christians is like, well, these Christians have it all figured it out. Mm-hmm. Or they at least act like they do, but they don't. That's probably more common. But we are here to explore the things that we wrestle with every single day as Christians.
And also, at the caveat, I hope men are wrestling with this now in their 20s and 30s, because you will. I mean, the more conversations I have with men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, is I wish I wrestled with it more of these topics and thought about them more, because I'm forced to, because of pain, failure, loss, whatever.
Oh, right.
Has forced me to now reflect on these things.
Yeah. Yeah. So really a common thing that we'll kind of see in what we talk about is the tension in certain things that we feel between what we deal with as Christian men and just as men in general. And almost in a way seeing the value in it.
Yeah.
And so one of those things, the thing we want to talk about today is this idea of sacrifice. First identifying what that means to sacrifice. The idea that it can be good or it can be bad.
Yeah.
A lot of times a lot of times you hear these common terms that are in the Bible, like sacrifices in the Bible a lot. And so first getting an idea and defining what it is.
Yeah.
So I was hoping you could kind of do that for us first.
I mean, we're always sacrificing something at the end of the day. We're sacrificing time. We're sacrificing relationships. We're sacrificing money, whatever, for something else. If we're going back to the Bible, I would say in the Bible, especially all leading up to Jesus' sacrifice, was in a level of atonement for sins, wrong behavior. But I think that at the end of the day, when we do give up something, there is a level of atonement.
What do you mean by atonement?
We're trying to right a wrong.
Okay.
We're trying, I'm trying to earn my way back into, and the atonement was being made right with God. And I think in the proverbial modern culture, we're all trying to subconsciously do that on our own, trying to some form of, whether we know it consciously or not, it's like we're trying to make ourselves right, whether that's being successful in business or having a certain image or
getting respect from peers.
Yeah, respect, recognition.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 100%. And so I think that is a form of sacrifice or atonement, because we give up something for that. A modern day one is like, hey, I will sacrifice my family, time with them, time with my kids, time to develop my marriage for financial well-being, for building wealth, building a company, build X, right? And I think some of us, we've justified that in our head because
it's for my family,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, going back, I think we did talk about that last week. The whole Walter White thing, which is like, oh man,
Oh yeah.
If we really unpeeled that layer, that onion a little bit, peeled back, is like, am I really doing it for them, or are I really doing it for me?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to fill that level? And I think there is, and this is where I think we'll maybe get into, Bo, I may not jump ahead here, but like there's something good about wanting to build something
Yeah.
that especially adds value to others and serves others. But there's
We've
like
got to put that in us, right? I
yeah,
mean, that's
and therefore,
not by
but
accident.
then we can over justify it. And I mean, I feel that tension sometimes. Maybe, maybe God hasn't given me the ultimate thing that I just like want to spend 10, 15 hours a day doing because I would. I mean, that's a thought in my head. That's a little, probably maybe a little TMI, but like I think about also like maybe, if God gave me a thing, would I be trustworthy enough,
Mm-hmm.
or would I sacrifice my family? Because we talk about, at the end of the day, like, yeah, my family needs my provision, but they more than that, they need my presence.
Yeah.
It's like my son, he is like he's going to remember that, and there are countless stories, right, of that. So, um, I mean, obviously my wife does too. I mean, that's why she married me, and that's what some men forget. It's like, hey, they didn't, we put the facade of provision and going to work and building, and uh, but really our wives like, yeah, it's awesome that you're providing this for me, but at the end of the day, I wanted to be married to you,
Right.
therefore I want to spend time with you.
Right.
Anyway, um, man, I feel like I'm getting off track, Bo, but
Well,
what do
no,
you
I feel
think?
like no, I think it's perfect.
My
I
head
think
thought.
it's like I would be curious if you could like survey 100 men in their 50s.
Yeah.
I mean, what percentage of those guys have dealt with that? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a unique
Mm-hmm.
thing to just really highly successful people or like people that um,
Mm-hmm.
are married and that ended up not having a good marriage or it ended up going off the rails. What I'm trying to say is like this idea of sacrifice,
Yeah.
like it's not. You're not going to. You probably with the men that you meet with, I would imagine it's probably not like it's a common theme for
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you're experiencing this as a guy in your 20s and 30s, they're trying to learn about it and kind of be shaped into who you're going to become or what you want to
Mm-hmm.
be. Um, this is not some. What I'm trying to say is this is definitely something that you'll wrestle with,
Yes.
right?
100%. And this is, I mean, this is the whole point of why I started this podcast and what brought you on, Bo, because how we have to reflect on these things now because we'll get to our
Yeah,
50s and we're just doing what's been modeled to us. We're
right.
just repeating the past.
Yeah,
And it's like, no, I think each of one of us is meant to build something new and
yeah,
unique. And, anyway, it goes back to what we talked about earlier with the concept of rest, even. But like, in the day, we're sacrificing something for something else, right? We're putting something down to pick up something else.
yeah,
And what is that?
yeah,
And I think that's the discussion.
yeah. That's really good. So this may be a good start. Um, what is give me your thoughts on what's or maybe even examples.
Mm-hmm.
What's an example of like a good sacrifice
Yeah.
as a Christian man?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's an example of a bad sacrifice?
Yeah. Man. Do you want me to get to the Elway thing or later?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do
I
that.
think that's perfect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I think,
Because that would be bad sacrifice, right?
well, that's the thing. That's the tension of it. And I guess this is what we're,
So we're
because
here
at
to
the end,
do.
what do you sacrifice it? Because I think going back to, what we're talking about, like John Elway, if anybody, it came out as Peyton Manning's company, I think, produced this,
Omaha?
Omaha Productions through Netflix. Some of y'all seen it, came out during, around Christmas time. It's really interesting. It's hard to sum up a whole guy's life or even career in an hour and a half documentary. But there was something like, as a sports fan, I knew the story of Elway, his sports story.
Mm-hmm.
Guy for 16, 17 years struggled to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Was a great quarterback, first overall pick, had success early in his 20s. Stanford,
Yeah.
baseball player and football player. Um, didn't win a lot in college, but that's you played for Stanford, that kind of
Right.
part of it, right?
Right. Right.
But it had insane numbers to the point he's number one overall pick. but he doesn't win the big one, but he meets his wife at Stanford. End up having 3 kids during his career. Um, but there's always this thing he's chasing, and it was a little. They kind of hinted at it throughout the documentary with his kids. Like this was the 100 pound, 1,000 pound gorilla in the room.
Yeah.
In our house was this weight he was carrying
Mm-hmm.
from the organization, from the fans, from the media of like I'm the guy who screws it up in the big game.
Yeah.
Or I can't win the ultimate prize in my profession, which I phrase it that way for a reason, right? Like that's what we always think.
Yeah.
But but then he gets into his career. The last 2 years, he wins the Super Bowl, and even this last year, he wins the NFL. He's the Super Bowl MVP, and it's like, man, wow, what a story of resilience, grind, just pursuit of the ultimate prize in the ultimate team sport, right? And even his teammates praised him. He wasn't an ego guy. He was a team guy. He played cards with them. He showed up. He did more the work behind the scenes. People and like some of his teammates say, like no one knew really how hard he worked. As talented as he was, he could throw a football, through a wall kind of guy. Like, but he showed up and did the work. Well, they then get to where he wins Super Bowl MVP, and he's like, oh, and then I retire. So I had the loss of my football career, and then he goes, and then it says, well, then I had the next 2 or 3 years of the hardest of my life ever. Lost my twin sister to cancer, lost my dad to a heart attack, who he was close with, and then was divorced. And you're just like, man, you kind of like he sacrificed. Ultimately, what we think from a distance is like that's a good thing. He put his teammates first. He put the work first. He put the time in. He overcame obstacles. I mean, it's an admirable story.
Yeah.
So this is where, like, going to your question of good and bad sacrifices, like, man, this seemed like a good sacrifice, but then you're always giving something up, and you
Well,
hear,
it seems good because he got the result he was seeking.
yes,
Right.
yeah. Which we as got is like he wasn't a drug dealer. He wasn't like
Yeah.
a used car salesman. He wasn't doing nefarious stuff. It was like, oh man, he was in a team sport pursuing the ultimate goal. But you start hearing like they didn't dwell on it, but there was something like, man, more time with my dad, more time with my sister. Basically, I lost my family because I pursued this thing. Lost my wife, my marriage fell apart.
Yeah.
Like all these things that he lost because he chose this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, there's just that tension you feel when you hear stories like that.
I would imagine that once you retire or you get out
Mm-hmm.
of the constant grind of trying to achieve whatever you're trying to achieve and things quiet down, I wonder if the things that you sacrificed along the way get a little bit louder
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wonder if
Yeah. And
you start to see it more
right.
clearly.
It's wild. I mean, I'm sure there's part of him that goes, man, I wouldn't trade it for the world because of what I accomplished and who I did it with, and that's good and wonderful. But then there's also like, and of course his kids at the end of the documentary, it's like, oh, now we're great.
Right.
Now he's a great granddad. It's great seeing him with our kids.
But you'll never get that time back.
But there's something too of like, and this is what I think was important in the conversation of sacrifices. What, and this is as a Christian, you need to think about what I'm going to be held accountable for. That's the tension. It's like as a man, like what at the end of my life? Okay, yeah, did I provide for my family 100%? Well, what about the other stuff? Was I there for my son in his hardest moments? Was I there leading my wife well and loving her and showing up for her? Like, do you think God's going to care more about that? What did I do with like my closest friends and community? Did they know me? Did they know, like, did I, yeah, I don't know. There's just so many things I think that go down the list that are, as men, we kind of lean towards the profession side.
Yeah.
Like, this is where I'm going to leave my mark.
Yeah.
And is good to a point. Anyway, and to continue to use sports analogies like we never do that,
We
right?
never
Bo?
do that. That's
I
not
think
all we know.
yeah, but it's on top of mind, that's for sure. Well, Scotty Scheffler this summer said it
Yeah.
at the Open Championship, as they say across the pond.
Yeah.
As we say, the British Open,
Right, British Open.
them Brits, right?
Yeah.
Because we have an Open too.
Yeah. The real one.
Right, the real one. It came about 50 years after, but anyway. But yeah, he said it in the press conference. He goes like, he's like, I love the grind, the process. I love winning golf tournaments, but it's not what motivates me. It's like my son.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And then, of course, I'm going here because I think this is just fascinating me. I've been wanting to talk about this because it jacks me up, this stuff. And then Tom Brady chimes in on it's like, hey, it's not either or, it's both. When there's time to pursue your career and be great at what you do, and then there's time to be with the family. And it's like, and then of course everybody chimes in. It's like, aren't you divorced?
Yeah. Look at the outcomes.
And you're like,
And that seems harsh to say, but it's true.
but it's like, I don't think he's the guy to talk about this. It's like, because at some point you will have to choose. He's right to a point. I think I even commented on what he said. He's like, he's right to a point, but at some point you're going to have to choose. Is it my family or is it my career?
Yeah, I love that. Because
or is it greatness, right?
Well, because it's, I was reading, I can't take credit for this. I was reading something else, but the idea of sacrifice, not the idea, the existence of sacrifice is a law. It's not just an idea, right? Sacrifice is something that we have to learn how to navigate. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah.
But sacrifice will be in your life, whether you know it or not. You're sacrificing something, whether you know it or not. And I thought that was interesting because you always kind of I always viewed like sacrifice as like, oh, well, that guy's having to do that because he's, super busy, or like, this guy's having to do that or whatever because, sacrifice is kind of unique to them.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Sacrifice is for everybody, and it's really good if you're in your 20s and 30s to at least understand that it's not just an idea. No, it's a law that it will take place in my life. So just acknowledge the existence of it, right?
You do it every day.
Right.
I mean, I think, and I'll say it in a good way, like let's say in the context of a Christian man, we are called to, think in the context of a relationship, like I'm meant to spend time with God. Whether that's prayer and the scriptures before him. Well, I sacrifice time to scroll social media.
Yeah, I want to watch SportsCenter.
Yeah.
And drink coffee.
Listen to podcasts, whatever.
I don't want to read my Bible in the morning. Like when I wake up, I'm not like, ooh, can't wait to do this.
100%.
I have to choose to sacrifice SportsCenter and right. for that last 30 minutes I get before my son wakes up.
Right.
And that's a great point.
That's a daily sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it's just like, putting the phone down, putting something like there's always those things.
Yep.
I've kind of mentioned the big ones like profession or family, right? That's a big one we kind of in our culture talk about, and I think it's just been very evident through that stuff. And one we could get to, Bo, is like I think another big one is like the sacrifice of ego. I'm not even talking about like straight up narcissism or arrogance, but just like your own personal ego of I am this, I'm my own, this is my identity, and this is who I'm going to be, and putting that down for some level of humility. That humility is a level of sacrifice, that ability to reflect and going, hey, maybe that's not who I am, and I need to redefine what that looks like.
Yeah, so a practical example of that would be at work.
Yeah.
And we'll say this repeatedly because it's true. You're in your 20s and 30s like we are, and something good happens that you did. And that's right. Let's just pretend you are.
Okay. I look like it. Right?
You do look like it. Maybe something good happens at work that you were responsible for, and somebody else gets the credit for it. Right? Like, are you able to sacrifice your ego? Because nothing ever good comes from, well, no, that actually was me.
Yeah.
then you just look like crap,
Right.
you know? Are you able to sit back and actually allow that to happen? Can you sacrifice your ego in a moment like that where it's like, "Oh, that
Yeah.
was me,
Right.
you know?
Oh man. That's yeah. Because yeah, a good friend of mine, like he talks about that humbling experience. Every man needs that
Hmm.
because what we end up finding was where one is our worth, really, who we really are. But like it's like because we just hold on tightly to things so much. This is what's going to make me successful. This is going to make me right, good.
Yeah.
The atonement thing,
Yeah.
the atonement. Like this is my atonement that I'm going to build this, do this, act like this, present this image.
Hmm.
And it's like there needs to be that humbling moment or multiple. I mean, I would say even in my case, many failures, disappointments, where you look back and it's like, yeah, that my path would have been completely different if I didn't, you know. And what it ends up being, I think, sacrifice, it makes you realize you're more human than you really are.
Yeah.
I'm not some idea or some, you know, um, I mean, to put it honestly, some form of deity that I've created in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to put it that way, but that's what it is, right? We end up worshiping that crap if our ego gets too big.
Yeah.
And we need that bubble popped,
Yeah.
And I think that's when we truly choose, and that's where, when you have the humbling moment and then you choose sacrifice at the other end, like, okay, I'm done trying to be that guy or pursuing that thing. I'm going to put that down. Maybe not wholly or completely. For some of us, we need that, that ego check to the point where we completely dissociate. I mean, like a friend of mine who told me that, it's like, need to go to rehab. Need to, yeah, got to go detox.
Yep.
Because this thing has been feeding that ego, this bottle has, and I need to I could put that down completely.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is good theology. It may not be, but you hear people say like, you know, I kept fighting to be able to continue to build this business or do this thing or become the person I wanted to be. And the theology part I'm talking about, it's like people are like, well, God just finally just took it from me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I don't know, but again, I don't know if that checks out. Like, you know what I mean? But that certainly is like, maybe it is like, maybe he's like, okay, well, let me take it from you for a second.
Yeah.
So that you can actually sit back and see all the things you've been sacrificing, including a relationship with me.
Yeah.
And let's kind of talk about this. Let's take a breather. And
Yeah.
anyway, kind of an interesting thought.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's what I think. If there's anything I would love for every guy right now is just sit down and think, like, what am I sacrificing in the name of what? You just kind of, how do I evaluate my life in a way of, and what's kind of constantly feeding that lack of sacrifice. I don't want to say lack of, because we're, like I said, we're always giving up something for something else.
Right.
And that, and that's where, I mean, this could be a rabbit trail, Bo, because I'm like,
Please.
because I've kind of hit this beginning, but we can always justify the giving up of something else, right? And going back to what we talked about last week, I mean, for me, sometimes it is the presentation of being a certain person. It was that. I can't say no to that person because what will they think of me?
Mm-hmm.
Can't say no to going to that event or that or this because
I'm gonna meet somebody and get a deal.
Yeah, get a deal,
Yeah.
or I'll disappoint that person I look up to, and they may not like me or help me out, or blah blah. We just go down that rabbit trail, and then you're like, for me, it's like it's like starting to say no to that stuff has actually been really healing because I realized, I have more energy. I actually don't feel as drained, and it's like, and now it's like, over Christmas time, my wife is 33 weeks pregnant. Saying no to a Christmas event with family, it was like, ooh, that's kind of
Sting.
that's a little bit that's kind of hard, but my mom gave me an out, and my wife is like physically exhausted because she's carrying around that extra weight, and it's not easy, right? And so like saying no for her is like, oh no, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
This is a good thing. I'm not saying it's like the whole like your your little no's to point to your bigger yes at the end of the day. So when that's when the context of sacrifice, giving up something is like, man, like something small like that is like saying, okay, hey, she feels rested, she feels seen, like, I didn't drag her to something just because I felt like I was supposed to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, in hindsight, we didn't miss much.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we'll make up for that on something in another way.
Yep.
With family or whatever. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. That was a little one.
No, it's really good. I like that a lot, and it's something that a lot of young parents like us have to learn how to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because when you have a kid, I mean, it's like we only have one. I guess you still do too, but just in the 10 months that Eli's been here, you do learn like, actually, now it'd be better if we didn't do that thing.
Yeah.
And gosh, I really want to go, but no, let's keep the peace. Let's make that sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, some very kind of minor examples of this idea of sacrifice, but we can kind of start putting a bow on it a little bit here, but I'm looking for a quote that I found that basically kind of ties it all up, at least for me. It is basically, here it is. So, and I want to get your thoughts on this too.
Okay.
But so this is kind of good going into the new year too, because we're trying to shed things and, clean things and get things out of our lives, which by the way, I'm going to lose a lot of weight this year.
Hey.
You just wait, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I just say that.
I'm going to be so skinny, man. You just wait, dude. But I'm not
fighting weight, huh?
But not today. I'll do it next week.
Right. You got cookies to pick up.
Yeah, right. The man you want to become is on the other side of something you're currently unwilling to give up or to sacrifice.
Yeah.
So if you said, hey, this is the guy I want to be, this is the guy I want to be like, well, there's going to be things in your way
100%.
that you have to sacrifice in order to get there. That's not just like an example of something as men. That's not just like, here's kind of an idea of what it could be. No, that is true every single time, right? I want to be X. I need to sacrifice Y and Z in order to get there.
Yeah.
And that's true for the kind of father you want to be, right? That's true for the kind of guy you want to be at work, the kind of friend you want to be. If you want to lose weight, this could be a lot you have to sacrifice there, right? And so for good and bad, sacrifice again is not just it's not just kind of this foreign concept that you can kind of explore. No, it's something that we'll experience every single day, and learning how to kind of decipher, this is a good and bad sacrifice, and that both can be existent in my life. I thought that was really interesting. There was something I've never thought about before.
Yeah. And I to comment on it, Bo, it makes me think of something I talk about is like the alignment of your purpose and priorities. And it's like, man, there's a great purpose I think we're all called to in this earth, but if there's not alignment with like my priorities in life, like being a good dad or being a good husband, that kind of stuff, like they can come in conflict.
Oh yeah.
And it's like learning how do those blend. So therefore the sacrifice. Say the quote again one more time.
The quote is, the man you want to become is on the other side of something you're currently unwilling to give up.
Yeah.
So I'm this person today. I want to be that one day.
Yeah.
But I'm unwilling to give up these things.
Yeah. And I imagine as you say that, people automatically go, crap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They know.
Every time I say it, yeah.
Yeah. So now you're thinking, I got to give up that bowl of ice cream before bed.
Yeah, exactly.
That. I mean, that's one like small example.
I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah,
not tonight.
Yeah. Right. Of course, it's December 30th, Bo. It's not the 1st.
We got.
But I think it also so you think about it in the one we've kind of been hitting on, it's like, all right, I want to be let's not even use the word good, great husband and father. Okay, that's putting work down at 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
So
checking
being
emails
honest
on a
about what's
Saturday.
getting in the way of that.
Yeah.
So being honest about identifying what the thing is and then being willing and disciplined enough to actually
Yeah.
remove it.
So here,
Right.
yes, because this is so. I mean, this goes back to ego. I think sometimes even because sometimes it's like it's not even about the hours. Sometimes it's like I've worked my rear end off all week. I've put in the time. I've provided this for you. Hey, I get home. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the game.
Yeah.
I get to veg. I get to go do what I want. I get to go play golf for 5 hours. Love playing golf. It's a good hobby to have. But like, okay, now you got to sacrifice that ego to go. Okay, well, especially if you got young kids,
Yeah.
or you got
That's
your
something I
young
fight with for sure.
your young wife,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, no, I need to sacrifice those things, not maybe completely, but to a degree, and actually take a temperature of the room and going, hey, because my wife is really, I would say, I'm thankful I married a wonderful woman where sometimes she's like, no, I want you go hang out with your friends. You know, your friends a month.
Yeah.
Go on a mountain bike ride. Go play a round of golf. Like we need those stuff, and being married to somebody recognize that because you want vice versa. But like at the end of the day, like this whole like ego, I am owed this because I have done this. You know, I don't need to change diapers. I don't need to get off my phone and go spend time with you and the kids because that's hard. I mean, that is hard. I think most time men we naturally go like sitting on the floor with my son and or reading him the same book for the 100th time. It's like this feels. I don't feel a lot of fruit from this.
Yeah.
I don't feel a lot of momentum. But good gosh, oh my God, 100% am of the belief that it is your son is like whether he remembers or not, his life has changed because you're showing up and doing it.
Just simply your time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's such an
time
easy,
and presence.
like I think it's so common
Yeah.
for men to be like that because you do hear stories about men that are like, that can be really kind of degrading to their wives and even to their kids for that reason. Because I've worked all day. We live in this home that I've built
Right.
because I'm the one that makes the
I'm the
money.
breadwinner. Yeah.
And so you can totally see
Yeah.
the validation, not the validation, but the justification behind that thinking. But just knowing that it's not, I guess just in saying it out loud with somebody, you see how that's totally not right.
Yeah.
And the value also and just I took your advice. Cartwright gave me this advice a few weeks ago on because my son he loves playing. We got him like a fake DJ table.
Oh yeah,
It's got like the I'm talking because he's kind of learned how to stand up.
Yeah.
And I mean we've sat around that DJ table for hours.
Yeah.
And Cartwright told me that hey just sit there.
Yeah.
Because the whole time I'm thinking like what are we getting out of this?
Right.
All right, let's try to learn how to walk, man. You know what I mean? Let's maximize this time we've got here. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, dude, just sit there. Just sit there and watch him.
Yeah.
And make eye contact with him. And let him know that, or just so he knows you're there and interested in him and what he's doing. And
You're okay with his presence. You're not okay. You're not going to be okay. Like his like this is where we get to even when he gets, especially when he gets older. Is dad's not okay unless I'm improving, growing, doing something. Like yes, 100% like a dad would love to see that. But at the same time, like we want if deep down in our soul we know that God loves us unconditionally. How do we then reflect that towards our sons? So anyway, sorry, I didn't even cut you off. But
no, that's perfect. Yeah, I mean that's totally it, and it's something that I had never realized before until I started doing it when you challenged me to do it, and it there's just a peace and a joy about it, and I wouldn't rather be doing anything else. Well, no, I take that back. In the time, I probably would because it's like, oh man, that football game's on right now. Yeah. But learning how to sacrifice that, as small as it may seem, and sit there, dude, for 30 minutes and put your phone up.
Yeah.
And just the fruit you get from that and being present with your family and with your kid. And I screw up a lot with that. I'm not perfect.
No.
Which is why you need a coach, everybody.
Well, I would say, I think Dr. Daniel Amen, who's awesome. He always says 20 minutes is what you really is the ideal.
It's like,
really,
come on, guys, you got 20 minutes.
20 minutes, no distractions. You're just present. And he says, no commands, no instruction and no something. Anyway,
Yeah.
but there is some, and I think this is what interesting that I think about, which is like I think every young man, young boy becoming a man needs, and I think and if we could just teach men to sacrifice right now and understand, is even at the age of our sons who are both under 2,
Mhm.
is like you if you really want to be a catalyst in your son's life, you have to be a safe place to fail. And if I only get my dad's attention when I'm succeeding,
Mhm.
or he will only engage when we're actually doing something towards my improvement, then that's not a safe place to fail.
Interesting.
You know, like if his emotions are up or down, whether I'm doing something right, that's not a safe place
So
to
when he
fail.
does fail, where does he go?
Yeah. It's like, oh, my dad lets me play around with something and try to figure it out. And he's not going to jump in and push me out of the way or correct me or
Yeah.
talk down to me if I'm not doing it right. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm just there. He's
Yeah.
just there. He's there to help. I mean, that's what a lot of times with my son, if he's trying to figure something, I can tell him getting frustrated. I go, do you want dad to help? Dad to help? I'm not, I have the tendency, I'll fall
You're a
guilty.
fixer.
I want to go in there and do it.
Yeah.
But he's not going to learn.
Yeah.
And that is something at right now where he's 21 months until he's 21, 25, like that's going to be there. He's going to need somebody who's not there to fix it, who's safe place for him to learn, fail, figure out, that teaches him problem solving skills,
Yeah.
but it's there to come alongside versus pushes him out of the way.
Yeah. And so to bring us full circle, if you're not making the sacrifices to put yourself in a position to do that, because I led us down a rabbit hole,
Yeah. It was great, Bravo.
then you won't even have an opportunity to do those type things with your kids. You know?
They'll learn
And
that.
that's a scary thought.
They'll learn
That's
that from
really scary.
Yeah, they'll learn that from somebody else.
Yeah, which gosh.
Or they won't learn it. They'll learn it all. They'll learn that their performance is what gets my dad's attention, aka that's where my identity is wrapped up in.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to the whole process versus outcomes thing, right?
Yep.
It's like we want people that their identity is not built upon the result.
Yeah.
That their identity is in love with just the doing, the process, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother.
Well, yeah, and that's a common theme for a lot of what we'll talk about on this, because it's funny how it's a lot of times when we discuss different topics, it always comes back to tension, right? What's true? Maybe both these things are true.
Yeah.
How do I find out how to do both or neither? Right.
Yeah.
But that's a common theme that we always talk about, that you and I've talked about for years.
Yeah.
When you've helped me is, okay, if we're talking about sacrifice, well, how do I know if it's good or bad? Or these both seem good, but they both require my time, or, stuff like that. That's always stuff like that.
That's a great way. It's like there's bad and good, and then there's good and maybe not as good. And sometimes at the end of the day, we could look at it as like, all right, if I do this, am I sacrificing for something else that is actually that's better?
Yeah.
That's good. That's greater than this good.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to kind of we evaluate in life, and that's where you need core values, priorities, purpose in your life, so that you can start weighing that out.
Yeah.
Better. I mean, that's where we always say having a biblical foundation is good. That's why we always say having stuff written down is really good.
Oh yeah.
And reflecting on these things, because then you can start really being more bold and acting. So,
well, I kind of want to. I wanted to get your thoughts on a few more things, and then I wanted to ask a few questions, kind of rhetorical, open-ended questions, just for whoever's listening can just kind of chew on it. We can rapid fire it. But I love how you just said biblical, because how do you not think of sacrifice and not think of our Messiah, Jesus? That's kind of like the most glaring, obvious thing. But even in when you were just talking about the biblical stuff too, it made me think about, what about Peter and James and John? Literally, they're out there fishing, and Jesus says, "Follow me," and they leave and sacrifice everything.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool concept. I mean, obviously the big one, sacrifice, God sacrificed his son for our sins. Yes, obviously that's, thank the Lord for that. But just some of the disciples and the everyday decisions they made even back then in following Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave up everything. And then there was an even example of the rich guy,
rich young ruler,
who wouldn't give it up.
Yeah.
And left miserable.
Yeah.
Right?
And which is, I think, going back to the whole good versus better thing. Because I think some people interpret that black and white of like, oh, well, therefore Christians shouldn't have any money. And it's like, well, that's not really true because there's definitely verses on stewardship and um, Jesus is really asking, are you going back to your question, your quote of like, what are you unwilling to give up to become the man that you really deep down know you should be or you want to be? Yeah, but I mean, the disciples. Yeah, what's interesting is I think this is one translates for over 2,000 years. Is they had probably a lot of them had family businesses.
Yeah.
They had like speaking of what. All right, success is doing what's been modeled for me for the last 100 years or 50 years, whatever. Like, let me just keep repeating that, and that's what success. And then I'll have wife, kids, right? Keep the Shabbat. All the Jewish to keep the Jewish traditions and do what my dad did. And Jesus basically like, nope. And what's interesting, and I think The Chosen does a great job of this, and they really add commentary to the addition of this, that Peter was the only one that was married, and that there was sacrifice from him and his wife for that. Like they even kind of added in there, which is some people don't like, but added in that she had a miscarriage while he was, which I don't think that's in the Bible, but it is an interesting concept to think about of what they had to give up, which I think I like about the show, that personal. So
yeah, it just adds another layer to.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't it wasn't a miscarriage, it was something else. I mean, they're all dealing with some stuff back then.
And we've been talking a lot about marriage and fatherhood, Bo, but there's just like even for the single guys out there, like all those guys were single, like they basically sacrificed this whole idea of getting married, settling down, having kids, I mean, even having sex, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a sacrifice for a lot of guys.
Massive.
Yeah. Right? But it is,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and when you choose to be a Christian, you are and single, you're choosing to put that down.
Yeah.
That's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So,
another episode on that.
Yeah, right? Seriously. And what that looks like.
Yeah.
Speaking of failure. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's another thought. I mean, we could go down. I mean, I could share all sorts of stories. Like I said, I was single till I didn't meet my wife until I was like a week before I turned 36. So, yeah, I mean the sacrifices in a single guy, because you do have more time to work, and you think about like, well, there's other parts to my life though that I need to develop, even though they're not strong right now.
Yeah,
I mean, there's the holistic. There's I still need to develop community. I still need to develop that emotional intelligence so I can be a good husband and father. And how do I do that? Well, I got to be in a relationship with other people. I got to show up in other areas. So anyway, I think we've hit it, Bo.
Yeah, we have.
I don't know if there's other questions you want to keep going.
Well, yeah, there's a few. So these are ones that I kind of had prepared for us, but I'll just kind of say out loud so that people can chew on it maybe.
Or maybe
as they're listening.
Keep my answer to 20 seconds.
Or try to answer it. We can think of an example or whatever. Yeah. But there's 8 what's called killer questions around sacrifice that I got from a really, really deeply sourced thing, ChatGPT. That kind of sure. That really I thought would be good and kind of putting a bow around what we talked about, and we can try to answer them or we can not answer them and have people just think about it, right?
Yeah.
But the first one is, what are you sacrificing that you didn't mean to?
Oh, yeah.
And then an add-on question that I would get is, if you don't ask yourself that question, would you ever identify that thing?
Yeah.
If you're ever in an environment where you have somebody like you that can help you kind of soundboard things, or you're involved in like a small group or community where you're actually actively talking about it, because this is not something that you're going to think about going down the road. Wait, what am I sacrificing there now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do I need to sacrifice right now?
Yeah.
Hold on. Am I sacrificing my family right now? I didn't even realize it, but I'm glad I came up with it myself. That doesn't happen.
Right.
Right. It takes somebody in your life.
Yeah. Well, that's where I would think if you hear that question, you feel some tension in you, or you have think back to an actual real conversation and feedback from somebody 100% would.
You got to have it.
Yeah. 100%.
You got to have it. If you're in your 20s and 30s and you're a Christian man, you've got to have somebody that you can wrestle with.
Yeah.
or can watch you wrestle.
Yeah, yeah.
Could be the coach on the outside of the ring and
Yeah.
help you, you know?
Uh,
Yeah, that's really good. The second one is, what are you protecting that's actually holding you back? So what are you not willing to sacrifice, like we said before, that's keeping you from becoming the person you'd like to be or the father or husband you'd like to be?
yeah.
Interesting.
And to not to be contradictory to everything we just talked about, Bo, but I would say even think about this conversation when maybe you could be using your family as a shield to actually go really pursue, and your wife's actually encouraging you to go start something or do something, and you're using it like, oh, I don't want to, that's where you have to really start knowing yourself and understanding you, and in your relationship with God, in your relationship with your wife and your family, really ask these hard questions because it could be vice versa. 100%. I would say 9 times out of 10, it's the what we've been talking about, but there could be a guy out
Yeah, there
there,
could be.
the 10% where
Well,
he's
but how do you know that? How are you able to even decipher that? And I think I'm so strong on this because of how
yeah.
much you've helped me. Like, how do you how do you figure that out on your own? You know what I mean?
Well, you mean you just said it. One, you got to have good, wise counsel,
Right.
a wealth of counselors. Shoot, I've lost the proverb, but yeah, I mean, you just got to have people in your life. But two, especially in your 20s and 30s, this is why we're getting guys to wrestle with this now because you're really in that wrestling. You're figuring out who you are, you're figuring out how God made you, and that, like, maybe I do have a natural bent to, you know, just be at home and clock out early and that kind of stuff. And you're like, and I'm avoiding it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that.
So that's where
It could be the opposite side of the spectrum.
yeah, I would say most guys that we know, and even ourselves, Bo, yeah, yeah. Anyway, it's the other way, but there could be some out there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
Your
sure.
family.
Well, that's a good segue. Here's the next one. Where do men confuse sacrifice with self-destruction?
Ooh.
So the idea of sacrifice versus healthy sacrifice
Yeah.
versus self-destruction.
Well, yeah.
So can sacrifice become?
I think, yeah, going back to what I said about the alignment of your purpose and priorities. I mean, the John Elways of the world, like, is he going to get to the end of his life and look back and like, man, I thought this. I gave up so much to become a Super Bowl winning quarterback, which at the end of the day it's a good thing. I wouldn't say that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
He especially in the context of football, like you didn't.
Accomplishing your goals is good.
Accomplishing a goal with people in a collaborative environment is probably such a healthy, good thing. But I imagine if he looks back at at the end of his life and like, could there have been a couple of days a week where I prioritized my marriage more? Could there have been a couple of days a week where I decided to go spend time with my kids instead of watching film until midnight? Like I just that kind of stuff where you can kind of go, I could have done that differently.
Yeah.
I could have still pursued the thing that I wanted, but had my other priorities with it that were probably at the end of the day I look back and are now more important. That's why I thought that example was really good because Elway wasn't a drugs guy. He wasn't staying. I mean, stuff we're hearing about like other people, like he wasn't going out late and hanging out with girls while being a married guy. He was just grinding. He was a good, like, by most accounts, at least of what they could tell that they said in the documentary, he was a good guy.
Yeah.
But he just, he chose football generally over his family.
Gosh, yeah.
Man, anyway.
And it doesn't have to be football.
Yeah, it could be something else.
It could be anything. Speaking of that, next question. What has God asked you to lay down or to sacrifice?
You ask me personally? Or that's the audience here.
Yeah, asking everybody.
Yeah, man.
It's I do feel maybe you don't have the answer, but just asking him that question.
Yeah.
God, what are you wanting me to lay down this year? That maybe it's become a bit of an idol to me, or it's taking up time that I can be spending with family, with kids, right? I wonder what that thing is. But I bet everybody, once you ask that question, I bet they're like, "Ooh, yeah, I know what it is."
Yeah. I can say this as someone I've talked with you a lot about, Bo. It's God's still working on me is my effort. Is I can make it happen.
Oh yeah.
sacrificing what I can do versus what he can do, and do I actually trust him
Oh yeah.
to bring about a better result than I can
Yeah.
myself. That's right off the top of my head. That is something, especially this month. I mean, most people don't know that I live off fully funded. I'm fully funded through donations, working through this nonprofit and what I do. And it was especially at the end of the year where people make promises and it doesn't come through, and it's like I feel like there's like I prepare the horse for battle and the victory is the Lord's. So like I did the things that I felt like God called me to, and at the end of the day, is He going to bring about the fruit, or do I need to feel like I have to make it happen? And which is like I've talked about before. It's the fruit of it is anxiety.
Yeah.
The fruit is stress and frustration. And you're like, no. At the end of the day, I say I'm a follower of His, and I trust Him more than I trust myself. So anyway, I would say, am I still that is a constant battle, a sacrifice of my own effort. Anyway,
Wow, that's interesting.
yeah,
I wouldn't have thought of that.
yeah. You thought about me? What are you saying?
Yeah, I don't think I would have thought about that for you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's still. I mean, it's
So what we're learning is, as wise as you are, you don't have life all figured
I
out.
have it all figured out. If I did, well, it might be pretty boring.
All right, here's the last one. What do you think is the hardest sacrifice for men in our age group? 20s and 30s. Right now, I think we've probably touched on a lot of them,
Yeah.
right? But what do you think that thing is, and how do you identify it?
Well, I mean, I would say the obvious thing, especially for I would say 20s, and every day I'm very thankful that I didn't get married at 24, 25 because I would have blown it. But I would say those guys in your 20s, like when you say I do and you say I want to be a husband and father, fully what is the weight of that?
Yeah, interesting.
That is a sacrifice.
And it's so normal here. Like,
Yeah.
everyone gets married. I mean, it's just kind of the thing that you do. I think a lot of times it can be breezed over, like you're saying, like, oh, you just get married. But what does it mean to be married? You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean? So you're going to sacrifice a lot here. You're sacrificing, really, I mean, your own, not well-being, that's dramatic, but like your own, like, selfish desires
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Because you're not dealing, that sounded negative. You're dealing with this lady. No, that's not what I mean. You're, you're having to deal with that now. No, that's not what I mean. Anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, because in our culture, like, it's. I mean, we both went to a college where they called something an MRS degree, right?
Yeah.
Like this is what it's so embedded in our culture. This is normal. Some people just go through the motions and do it, but really, and I don't think anybody, when they truly go into it, fully know the weight of what that means. But 100%,
Yeah.
like in your 20s and 30s, if you're getting married or early in marriage, like what does it truly mean if this is what I chose? And when you chose to be a husband and father, you're there. Yeah, that's outside your relationship with God. That's got to be number one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what God's going to hold us accountable for. How did you love your kids? How did you raise them? How did you love your wife in the midst of the chaos of life and choose to love her? They'll know that I love you by the way you love one another. I butchered that one, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like these are the marks of a disciple.
Yeah, for sure.
How did you love one another? These are things that so I don't know.
No, that's
I would say that's the obvious one. And even single guys thinking about that question. What does it really mean? If this is something I want for my life, what does that really mean?
Yeah.
And what will I have to deal with? And other questions that'll basically come from that question.
Yeah.
No video games till midnight anymore.
Yeah, come on, man. What's the deal with that, by the way?
It's a real thing, bro.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Look, I have things I struggle with too, for sure. I'm not the perfect person. I need tons of help. But the video games thing, man, just put it up, right?
Yeah, but it's another.
We may lose some listeners for that.
Yeah, it's another addiction. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's another. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, is that a good bow on that?
Yeah.
I got to give you a shameless plug.
Yeah.
So I'm here because I probably about 10 years ago was in a weird spot in my life 5 years ago.
God, Bo, has it been 10 years?
Good gosh, man.
It was towards the end of 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah, into 2020. Cartwright didn't know I was going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. This type of stuff that we wrestle with and that we talk a lot on this podcast is you're going to see, you'll get some value, hopefully, out of just hearing us have a conversation about it. But I do know, and it's kind of a touchy thing, especially for guys, a lot of my friends, a lot of guys I know that don't really want or don't really think they need the help and they don't want to talk about deep issues and stuff like that. Let me just say, as believers, as guys that are following Jesus, trying to follow Jesus, trying to do the best we can, and you've got to get somebody in your life that you can talk to about some of these issues, because I promise you're not special and you're not going to not deal with these things. And so anyway, shameless plug, Cartwright's an amazing resource. The Center for Executive Leadership is an amazing resource. Get involved in something with guys that are going through similar things, and start learning about it. And even when you do mess up, you don't come here to get fixed. You come here to wrestle with it with others so that you know you're not on your own and stuff like that. So just, look, I know we don't like getting deep and stuff like that as men, but just take some time, reach out to somebody. I would recommend Cartwright. Get in front of somebody and just kind of brain dump with them, and have somebody that does this professionally like Cartwright help you dissect what's true, what's not true, what's okay. Hey, actually, that thing is not okay. Here's where it is in Scripture. Here's how I can help you. So anyway, get involved. Please get involved. Cartwright's an amazing resource. So please do that.
Made me blush. Thank you, Bo.
You're welcome.
All right. I think it might. That was a good little bow. I appreciate that.
Cool.
You didn't have to do that.
Cool.
Thank you for listening to the Men of Forge podcast. If you like this podcast, please check us out on YouTube or follow us on Apple or Spotify, wherever you listen.